Joining me now, Nathan Diament, Executive Director of the Orthodox Union Advocacy Center. Nathan, thanks for Skyping in from Washington this morning. And in your opinion, will the increased security in France truly help protect vulnerable sites, specifically those Jewish schools?
Well, we certainly hope so. It's been a really sad and tragic period of time for the French Jewish community with the attacks in general in France, and in particular that some terrorists targeted a kosher supermarket on Sabbath Eve, which is its busiest shopping day for Jews who are preparing for the Sabbath. And it also reminded us that just about a year ago there was an attack on a Jewish school in Toulouse, France. And so we hope that for the sake of the French Jewish community that it's unfortunate that this kind of police and military presence is required, but hopefully that'll protect the French Jewish citizens against further violence.
According to reports that have crossed my desk, about 30% of French Jewish students stayed home after those attacks in Paris last week. And we have heard about a deteriorating situation for Jews living in France. Would you say that the Jewish community in that nation is living in fear?
I would say that there is a very high level of concern, for sure. I would say that there are some people who are becoming fearful. That's been in the news reports. And we've already seen a very significant rise in French Jewish immigration to Israel in recent months. And that's probably going to continue. The owner of the kosher supermarket that was attacked by the terrorists, in fact, has said that when he's healthy and his loved ones are out of the hospital, that he plans on moving to Israel.
Mindful of what occurred last week in France, we turn our attention to our own shores. Sadly, in years past, there have been some attacks on Jewish social centers and schools here in the United States. In your opinion, how safe are structures here in the United States for the Jewish community? How safe are they from radicals and would-be terrorists?
Well, look, I would say overall they're safe. The United States, thank God, is not France, and the kind of the deep embedded anti-Semitism that exists in France at large, and frankly the number of people in France who adhere to a radical Islamic point of view also does not exist, thank God, in the United States. But there have been attacks, there have been incidents, and thankfully many of them have been lone wolf attacks. Not that you're grateful for an attack, but they've been lone wolf incidents, not broad terrorist plots. But at the same time, we saw in the wake of 9/11, Al-Qaeda talked about perpetrating acts of terror against Jewish, among other targets in the United States. Other groups like ISIS have talked about it as well. And so the Jewish community in the United States is very mindful and very, very sensitive to this issue. Thankfully, major law enforcement agencies where you have large Jewish populations, such as New York with the NYPD, Chicago, Boston, Los Angeles, etc., the local law enforcement officials are very much sensitive to and responsive to the concerns of the Jewish community. And so is at the national level, the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security. We, being the umbrella for Orthodox Jewish synagogues around the country, nearly 1,000 synagogues, as well as Jewish schools, we are in regular communication, working very closely with the FBI, DHS, and local police agencies
Suffice it to say, Nathan Diament, there is a proactive relationship between the Jewish community and law enforcement in the United States to prevent future attacks. We'll have to leave it there. Nathan Diament, Executive Director of the Orthodox Union Advocacy Center, we thank you for your time, and America's Forum